What's going on, everybody? In this video I want to talk about Sphere 3D. We do have an insight on their mining update. They released a form 8K and it does give us a little insight into what their numbers are going to be. There's a form that they have to put in before adding anything to their site, ensuring that the SEC approves of it. But we're going to look over that. We're also going to look at what's going on the chart, and we're also going to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has recently been running and it caused a lot of miners to spike pre-market. However, some miners did start pulling back, and I'm going to touch on that as well. A lot of people wondering why CleanSpark isn't moving. First off, let's talk about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin absolutely popped last night. I was just watching it moving from a hair under 36 to all the way to 37,000, nearly 38,000 before now cooling off a bit. And to me, this shows there is a lot of buying pressure on Bitcoin despite having a bit of an overbought RSI. What I've personally been expecting was for it to either cool down or trade sideways so it could reset that RSI. And while it did do that to an extent, we were still a bit overbought when we started popping. To me, that shows that the buyers are in effect. Anytime this RSI cools off, buyers are coming in to support this. We're at the perfect time in the halving. We have a lot of catalysts coming, and to me, it's good to see this type of price action with an overbought RSI. Now, does that mean we aren't going to pull back? No, of course we can pull back. Of course we can come down, test 35, test 34. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen or not going to happen, but we do have a bit of an RSI that's overbought. So just tread carefully if you're planning on buying for short-term gains. Do I see Bitcoin as a buy right now looking over the long term? Of course I do. But this nice move last night definitely caused some miners to run pre-market. And some of them are still looking good as of this upload, but some of them are pulling back. And I'll touch on that in a second and give you why I think that may be. Now, I do want to talk about Sphere 3D and their recent Form 8K. This is basically a precursor to their actual press release of their Bitcoin mining update. Now, it is a bit more limited compared to their actual press release, but it does give us some decent numbers. We will likely see a few more things on their actual release, but it does give us a lot of information on their Bitcoin mining progress, what they've been doing. And they did mine 69.2 Bitcoin in October, which is up 8.8% from September and up 535% year over year. Now, to be fair, they were mining next to no Bitcoin at that time. That said, it is still nice to see this massive growth in Bitcoin mining with such a small cap company. Keep in mind, guys, this is like under a $20 million market cap. So to me, this hash rate to market cap is actually very, very attractive. And I have talked about that in previous videos. But you can just see the difference here. Back in October 2022, they mined 10.9 Bitcoin. October 2023, nearly 70 Bitcoin. You'll see here also that they sold a little more Bitcoin than they mined. They're trying to fund their future growth, cover their expenses, things like that. I would like to see them start hodling more, but this seems to be the strategy they're going with lately. They probably need the cash. Now, the mining revenue they received was $2 million, which is one of the best months in terms of mining revenue, but they did sell quite a bit of Bitcoin, so keep that in mind. And currently, they are only holding 11 Bitcoin. As you can see, they sold more than they mined, so that Bitcoin holding number is a little less than September. I would personally like to see them adding to that Bitcoin holding number, especially based on where we at in the cycle timeline. Deployed miners, they're sitting at 12,450, pretty decent for such a small cap company. And their month end deployed hash rate is currently sitting at 1.3 exahash. And we have some comments from the CEO. In October 2023, we mined 69.2 Bitcoin, representing a 535% increase year over year, and an 8.8 increase in September 2023. The higher production in October was driven by a reduction in curtailment due to lower temperatures at our hosting sites. Looking forward, we expect curtailments to continue to improve as we progress further into the winter months, which we expect to result in higher Bitcoin production, all else equal. We intend to bring an additional 1,000 miners online in the next 30 to 60 days. So that additional 1,000 miners from the 12,000 they have is a little under 10% more mining capacity. And the fact that mining curtailments has been going down as we've been entering into cooler months is a great sign to see. We should see more of that as well, more efficiency. They did mention that with Griffin, they terminated the MSA or Master Services Agreement, which they say should result in an additional 22.5% in gross profit. I don't know why they were still connected with Griffin anyways. The merger was terminated long ago, and it seems like they have a lot of just tie-ups with all these other Bitcoin miners and things like that have pretty much done them wrong. Oh, they do have an update on Core Scientific saying that Judge Jones, the judge overseeing the core case, has stepped down, and Judge Lopez will be overseeing the core case, and it's scheduled for the end of January 2024. And they gave a quick update on the halving, saying that we're going to try to organically grow our Bitcoin production to mitigate any difficulty mining, mitigate rewards being cut in half. But it's a pretty generic statement. So I'll leave it down below if you want to see it. Now looking at Sphere 3D on the chart, it looks very bearish. We are facing a declining 50 and 200 MA. Keep in mind, guys, that we do have earnings today. That's going to be a big catalyst tonight. So keep an eye out for that. I will be looking at it. Probably give you guys an update soon on it once I digest it all. But this isn't looking good. We've recently created new lows. That's never a good sign. And I would wait to enter this company until we start seeing new recent highs being created at the very least. And yes, I won't be getting the very, very bottom. Wouldn't be maximizing my percentage. But consider this. What if this isn't the low? It's a coin flip. Could it be the low? Could it not? I'd rather wait until the chart looks better to give me a little confirmation. But yes, I'm waiting to enter into this. We are getting very close to the halving, so I think now is a really good time to keep a close eye on that chart. Now, I do want to talk about CleanSpark. You'll see on socials that a lot of people are very disappointed. Why is Bitcoin up, creating new recent highs, while CleanSpark is pulling back? And honestly, I don't have a 100% answer for you, but what I think it could be is based on chart and is based on some upcoming data. Now, chart-wise, you'll see if I click on these two green lines and zoom in a bit, you'll see a death cross right here. And then sorry for my shitty voice. I'm like losing my voice right now, but anyways, you can see that we saw a death cross. That might add to more selling pressure. That's not a good sign. We also broke this broadening wedge, and we're still facing this long-term downtrend. Now, a very important longer-term trend for you guys to watch. This is a trend that's been established since our lows back in 2022. Follow this ascending blue line. If we pull back, I do expect a bounce here right around 350 or so. But if we break this would not be a good sign. That's at least what I'm looking at in my perspective. I could always be wrong. Maybe this breaks slightly under and it just pops right back and we run like hell. But just based on these levels, I'll keep an eye on these. It is definitely a bit disappointing that you see CleanSpark just either trading sideways or going down while Bitcoin continues pushing. However, I'm looking at this as a company, and this is one of the best Bitcoin miners out there. You look at the all-in cost to mine Bitcoin, they're the best. You look at their hash rate growth throughout the bear market, they're the best. You look at their hash rate to market cap, they're among the best without being the highest risk, like Sphere 3D, for example. They have a better hash rate to market cap than Riot, than Mara, although those right now are seen as the safer plays by Wall Street. They're looking at Bitcoin and thinking, what should we get in? They're probably going to get into some of the larger Bitcoin miners. They're seen as probably safer, and during record high interest rates and a Fed that has a higher for longer stance, the higher the risk the Bitcoin miner, the less likely Wall Street wants to enter it, currently at least. And one thing that's bringing some potential Fed fears, one thing that's going to be a huge catalyst for some of these Bitcoin miners in my opinion, and a lot of small caps, is our upcoming CPI, which is going to be on November 14th. If this comes out hot, we're going to see a lot of worries from the Fed likely. People thinking maybe there's a possibility of another rate hike or an even longer Fed pause cycle. So CPI will be very important to watch from a standpoint of looking at small caps. And I do think that's partly the reason why all these small caps have been kind of getting beaten down lately, including Bitcoin miners that have seen Bitcoin rise up in price. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm full of crap and CPI has nothing to do with these small caps? Fed rate hikes have nothing to do with small caps? Let me know in the comments below why you think CleanSpark is down. Is it due to the Fed rate hikes? Is it due to something external? Is it due to dilution? Is it due to high exec compensation? Is it due to them likely not having a profitable quarter until next quarter report? Let me know your thoughts down below, and what do you think about Sphere 3D? They are a very, very small, high-risk Bitcoin miner, but from a hash rate to market cap perspective, they look great. And when we start seeing some real hype, I mean real hype going into Bitcoin, breaking all-time highs and continuing to run, 5% up day after 5% up day, I think that is when Sphere 3D and a lot of these other small cap Bitcoin miners, including CleanSpark, will be the place to get into. But now, in my opinion, is a time to prepare, a time to really watch these Bitcoin miner charts, and a time to buckle up and anticipate that moonshot. Thanks again, as always, for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later.